wanna be where the people are.
Poor child. I'll make you human for 3 days.
Is that even possible? Watch and you'll see.
This Friday,
Someday I'll be.
experience the motion picture event of the year. Disney's The Little Mermaid, rated PG, parental guidance suggested, in theaters Friday.
So, you open Google Chrome on your phone, you're rushing to buy tickets to a concert that all your friends are going to. Picture yourself now, crowd surfing to the front, being invited onto the stage, backstage the world tour, and before you know it, you're dancing in Tokyo. Wait, what? 3 tickets left? It's a good thing your saved payment details autofill quickly and securely. There's no place like Chrome. Download Google Chrome on your phone.
Hey, here it is. It's the ManFUzed podcast. I am Kay Lee, audio producer, voice artist, your host. My co-host, Ben H., real estate broker, real estate entrepreneur, agent, top producer. So today on the ManFUzed podcast, we are going to close out our conversation with transformation coaches Keri and Jake Kauffman. Today, they're going to give us a little insight about relationships. I'm sure when you look at relationships, those in your life and those around us, you can see that relationships weren't designed to work. How do we preserve them? How do we maintain them? Keri and Jake are going to offer their perspective on what they do and how they look at maintaining them. I was thinking about this also. I don't know where you are now. It seems like you guys are well established in what you're doing and you guys have a good book of business. But in the beginning, managing people, your livelihood is based on you helping people achieve more. You help enough people get what they want, and achieve what they're trying to achieve and ultimately help them be the best person they can be. Yeah. You guys financially, emotionally, spiritually are getting fulfilled in all those areas as well. And I know Ben has had to try to manage with real estate, trying to set up a team. They work for themselves. He's not trying to own them like an employee. He's trying to show them how to make more money and live off of this. But managing people is a bitch.
Inherently messy, yeah.
You get excited. Ben and I are both very optimistic. We get pumped up and fired up about an idea and we just get into action. But as you get going with people especially, you get let down. Sometimes it's a financial thing. Has that been hard to get to where you were? Because at some point you were dependent on, business coming in and people seeking out your coaching, I would imagine, when you're starting off, right?
Yeah. For myself, I had been in the personal development space in Los Angeles for a number of years. So when I started coaching, I had a lot of people who were almost immediately interested in working with me. That was really incredible. And I consider myself incredibly blessed to have been in that position. But figuring out the online social media game where I start to attract people who have never connected with me and who don't know me, who haven't had an in-person experience of me, that took me time to figure out for sure. Totally. That took a couple of years to really start to get comfortable with how do I leverage Instagram? How do I leverage Facebook? How do I market myself in a way psychologically insofar that people come across my content and they are incentivized to want to reach out to me and talk to me about possibly coaching with me. That took me time to figure out. And I actually went to college for marketing. So entrepreneurship.
Did the hat help?
Absolutely. For sure it did. But
the what?
The hat.
Oh, the hat?
You haven't seen the hat?
This one? Hat?
Yeah, that's the hat, dude.
The hat.
I
As soon as you said that, that's the image I got.
You, dude, the hat's powerful. I'm like, what is this hat?
Is
I don't
this
know if
a
I love it.
Is
Do I
this
hate
a Gorin
it?
Brothers
It
hat?
looks good on him. I don't know, but
well, because Gorin Brothers makes a nice set of hats too, and they're not
in
cheap.
Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville.
It's a killer hat, dude.
He gets a lot.
It's very Cuba.
I don't know what it is.
It's like, I don't know if I'm getting, but it reminds me of like a Cuban guy.
Keri's daughter calls it a cowboy hat.
They met him and they were like, "Are you a cowboy?" And I was like, And his dad goes, take that as a sign.
Depends on what you mean.
Forget the hat.
Right, totally. Oh my word.
Why, yes, little lady, I am.
But as a broader lesson, going back to what we were talking about, relationships fundamentally do not work. They don't. Because
they're not supposed to.
They're not supposed
it's like
to.
planned
Correct.
obsolescence.
Wait, you say relationships?
Yeah.
Like between
Planned
man and woman?
obsolescence.
Anyone, because we are constantly needing to overcome ourselves in an effort to make it work. And so by virtue, they inherently don't work. Relationships aren't meant to work.
We're not meant to like anybody.
That's why
See you later,
they're
babe.
They're simply meant to be navigated.
Right.
Because it's in navigating the hardships, it's in navigating the deficiencies that come with any relationship that we become better people.
Absolutely.
That we become more resilient within ourselves, and the more secure we become in our relationships, successfully navigating or effectively navigating our way through conflict and tension.
So if I can ask you guys a question, because you guys seem both very well-rounded, and I believe that you are. What does a fight look like in y'all's house? Because I know something about you that you don't know. You know,
what you're doing right now is you're pulling from your trauma and you're reflecting it on me.
Yeah.
And we talked about
We
that.
actually talk more like
actually,
that.
that's
pretty accurate.
That's 100%.
Do you want to come back to me when you're your real self?
If you think about it, I mean, how do we fight, dude? It's like swinging a machete in the dark, where at least they probably have the emotional intelligence to be like, all right, let's take.
She told me to go get my real self. I'm going to go I'm going to go get him out of the closet.
Hopefully it's helpful, but I agree with you. It's got to be like,
I would imagine, well, I mean, everybody gets on each other's nerves. I don't care who you are. Were your parents divorced? Or
My parents are still together.
Oh, they are?
Yep.
That's awesome. Ben's too.
Mine too.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm
divorced.
I'm the only bad apple in the room. But I didn't come from a broken home. My parents got divorced. There was never too much fighting. But I was kind of, at about 8 years old, if you guys aren't happy together, then be apart. Like, my dad didn't walk out. He moved in the same zip code. He, grabbed me on weekends. It was like Little House on the Prairie compared to some people's,
Sure.
I mean, horror stories. Yeah, absolutely. But, my wife, she comes from, I guess, she's got some daddy issues. I'd say that she still does, but which, I get to experience on the daily or weekly.
You get to love on.
Yeah, I get to love on. Our arguments and the way she responds and the way she reacts is not the way that I would respond or react. While y'all's fighting might be a little bit more...
way more professional.
Way more professional.
We professional.
Yeah, I would say where mine would be more street.
Yeah.
It would be like...
In the real estate world, your fight's like a FISBO.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Whenever we're fighting, if you were an outside observer, a fly on the wall, right, you would think that we're simply having a conversation.
Yeah.
I'm listening to what Keri's saying and vice versa. She's taking in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And we're approaching that with curiosity and openness.
Yeah.
While
nice.
while simultaneously distinguishing how much of this is mine, how much of what she is communicating to me am I actually responsible for, and how much of this is a projection.
Yeah.
How much of this is her, and again, this goes both ways. How much of this is her past,
right,
pain from the past, being recycled in the present moment and being projected onto me as a result. So there's like this kind of like wading through the sand, if you will.
Right.
And we will literally say out loud as we kind of take it in and process it for ourselves, like, this doesn't feel like mine. And like, I reject that.
I love that.
I'm going to use that. You know what?
Yep.
But it doesn't
Say
mean
mine.
I'm abandoning him. Yeah, it's not like I'm like, well, fuck off with that. That's yours. Have fun healing. I'm like, I'm there and I'm with him, but I don't have to take it on for him. I also don't need to be responsible for where he goes with that because I'm just going to hold the space.
Correct. We're not necessarily making the other person wrong about like, that's yours and don't put that on to me. It's more of an observation,
Right.
and discerning.
Yeah.
Very, very careful discernment of, okay, what is mine to own here, and what is her stuff that's just being projected onto me.
Right.
In this moment, she's unaware of, and that she's not taking full responsibility for. And so it's kind of just like this wading through the waters of like, okay, I'm totally willing to acknowledge and accept what you're saying, and I'm sorry.
It's always the best way. Just say you're sorry. That's right.
Or
Just end it.
I should say,
I'm just sorry.
And I should say, and simultaneously being willing to say, that doesn't feel like it's mine, like Keri mentioned. That doesn't feel like it's mine. I feel like that's yours. And I'm happy to continue to engage with you in this conversation and be with you in this.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take too much responsibility.
I'm not going to take ownership of
Correct.
this in the way that it's being
Yeah.
presented to me
Absolutely.
right now.
I might also ask, is there a request for support here? Is there something I can do that you would like? Maybe it's just a hug.
Oh,
Maybe you just
that's a
want
good
to,
one.
maybe I can just like shut up and sit next to you and you want to just talk. And I can do that.
I would really like to be held right now.
Well, 'cause
I'll say that. I will be like, can I just have a hug?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because
I do
oftentimes it's just
Heads.
it's the other person
Yeah,
trying to
there you go.
communicate a need.
Your pen.
My pen.
Pen goes ahead.
Oh my word.
Held. That's what I meant by held.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
I said held is what I said. Held. I want to
when
be
you
held.
are actually in those
held head
fights,
slipped out. I don't know.
after you experience like one of those really vulnerable shares where you like make a request for support maybe you hadn't made before, that's
Yeah.
a really great time to go make love because you connect in like a very real place.
See?
Yeah.
So there you go.
This is all good stuff. Like, I have a question for you, Keri, about women specifically.
Ooh, yeah, please.
And as a
Educate
man,
us.
and a man who knows many men,
Many men.
I'm not. This is not in any way to remove any responsibility for whatever it is that we're doing, because
we
I
do.
know I got problems too. I'm no angel to live with and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think anybody is.
and yet at the same time, as I know many men who have wives, I find in talking with them that we actually share a lot of the same issues,
Heartaches
with our wives.
and headaches.
And a lot of it, I feel, has to do with unresolved trauma from the female's life.
Sure.
And I think that there's something happening where women will dump this on their husbands in a way that is so just mean. They're just fucking mean. And it's like,
Like, give me an example.
it's like, why do you have to say those words? Like, why do you have to attack?
So,
Why are you attacking me? How did you get to this level of pissed off based on what we're dealing with? We're dealing with something here and like that, and I get it. Like, let's deal with this. But you're like, way the hell
I know
over
what
here
that is.
somewhere. I don't even know where you are, but you're certainly not here in the kitchen. You know,
I think
Tell me.
our paths kind of run similar courses with those type of responses. And I think if I had to make a educated, logical guess, because I am very logical, and that's probably one of my downfalls, is I probably need to show a little bit more emotion at
yes,
times.
you do.
I'm very
You're
logical.
just a daredevil.
Right. But that would come from what they've experienced in the past. And if I had to, they take out...
If I may,
On the men.
it's actually a self-protective strategy. I'm happy to toss this back over to Keri, but I do agree with you that on some fundamental level, it is a result of unresolved or unreconciled, unhealed trauma from the past. But in many ways, it is a self-protective strategy.
That's their way of protecting themselves.
So if we're at a 10 in a reaction, you're like, okay, I'm confused. Where is this coming from? There is
Yes.
something that happened
Before.
that they didn't speak up when they felt it start to come online.
Yeah.
Maybe a request, a need, voicing something.
Right.
Or maybe it
Like-
was a conversation with somebody else before you even were in the
Maybe.
room. Or is it...
Maybe
That's a very human
It
experience.
could,
but-
yeah, it could be. But I think it's when we see,
Like a
especially
build-up?
in a dynamic where it's like kind of this like, resentment is built up or they lose their shit over the dishes in the sink and you're like,
Right.
okay, whoa.
Yeah.
I thought like we're
Yeah.
just I'm coming to help you. Like what's this all about?
Yeah.
It's usually if there's an unspoken need that has kind of passed by that they didn't speak up for and now it's just festering.
Yeah.
So learning how to identify needs earlier
Or
is
maybe
part of
they
it as
have
well.
asked and you've forgotten or
Yeah.
not made time.
Or you had a conversation you don't remember.
Oh God.
The predominant way in which men protect themselves, at least the way that most men have been taught to protect
A
themselves,
shield.
is I'm going to overwhelm you physically.
Men
Correct.
to women.
In general.
Yeah.
That is the way in which most men have been historically programmed to protect themselves.
Agree.
Is I am going to overwhelm you physically.
Got it.
For women, it's I'm going to overwhelm you emotionally.
Oh, and
Also a way of being heard, right? If they're getting louder and attacking, it's like fight response. That's a nervous system protective response coming online. That's just like getting louder and louder because they don't feel heard. Something happened or was not heard earlier, potentially too.
Sometimes I feel like they just want to cut you.
So so what's the best way to deal with that? Like I'm in this present moment and you're at an absolute 10 and me, like I don't want to go to the 10.
You're at a calm 4.
But like that only lasts for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to do it.
You don't need to match their energy.
And then all of a sudden, there you are. You know, and you're just, you know, and it's just freaking
there comes
World
the
War
word
III,
that
you know what I'm
she
saying?
hates more than anything else on the planet.
Maybe I started it yesterday when I didn't hear what you said or whatever.
You kind of take the
and then
bait,
you didn't bring it
right?
up. And then now I took the bait. And now here we are.
Yeah.
And
don't take the bait. Lead with curiosity. Yeah. Hey, I'm confused. I understand why you're upset right now, I think. And how are we at this level of upset right now?
Right.
How did we get here?
What's the real challenge here for you?
Yeah.
Is my favorite
Just get
question.
curious.
Ooh, what's the real
Because
challenge?
by virtue of
What's this really about?
right,
Take
by
a note, damn it.
by virtue
Can I write in your book?
Absolutely.
well, we are recording it.
Right, there you go. But by virtue of how the question is phrased, you are implying that there is a deeper challenge that hasn't been communicated yet.
Which is probably true.
Right.
Oh,
Or what
it's
Keri is
most
saying.
likely true.
Definitely true.
But by way of how the question is phrased, you force them to go there themselves. You don't tell them to go there. You invite them to go there by asking them a question.
That's open-ended.
Because if I say, you know, if I accuse you that like you're bringing up historical shit right now, and I don't think this has anything to do with what you're actually mad about,
That's like more walls.
More walls. They're going to get even that much more self-defensive in an attempt to rebuff you and protect themselves.
Right.
But if you ask a question, that immediately disarms, and especially this question forces them to go deeper within themselves introspectively in a way that causes the underlying issue to reveal itself organically.
You never want to point the finger and be like, you. No one's very responsive when they're like, you did this and you did like, what?
Nobody's going to respond to that well.
No.
But when you can acknowledge what's actually happening in you,
and
instead it like really cuts off the projection. It doesn't go to that level, and continually over time it stops going to that level. Like it's very rare.
You know, there's
I can count on 3 fingers probably the amount of times we've gotten into like.
There's this common saying in sales, Ben, that you've probably heard before, which is, you know, if I say it to you, you're going to doubt it.
Yeah.
If you say it to me, you're going to treat it as fact.
Right.
Even if it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think the same thing is true when it comes to arguments.
Yeah.
If I say it to you, you're going to get even more defensive.
Yeah.
In all likelihood.
Right.
If you say it to me, you're going to be forced to go internally and introspectively in a way that's going to disarm.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll put that in my quiver.
In your quiver?
I'm shooting that arrow next.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Your quill?
Yeah.
Put that in. Use your quill and write that down. No, I'm talking about the one that you dip the ink in.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think about building and cultivating emotional intelligence within the context of a relationship. Emotional intelligence is your ability to effectively separate thought from emotion. And so when you're in the midst of an argument, a conflict, that's where that is tested more than any other time, because you're forced to be a neutral observer to your thoughts.
Right.
Because we are not our thoughts.
Right.
We're the person listening to those thoughts.
Yes.
Our thoughts are the result of our parenting, our conditioning, our upbringing, all of those different things. When we can think something but separate the emotion that is typically attached to certain thoughts,
Right.
then we can respond as opposed to react in a conscious way that allows you to diffuse and disarm any type of tenuous situation or interaction or conversation.
I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But I found that if you read Let Love In,
it'll certainly help.
It will let love in. Literally. So
It's like the carrot, the egg, and the coffee bean.
Yes, I love that story. I was like, what the fuck is that, Ben? And you're like, It's like some Bruce Lee shit.
Yeah.
You're like, the coffee bean absorbs the water.
No. Do you guys know the egg, the carrot, and the coffee bean?
I
No.
don't.
All right.
It's a
Take
fable.
boiling water
Yeah.
and you put an egg in it. The egg hardens.
Mm-hmm.
Take boiling water, you put a carrot in it. The carrot softens. You take boiling water and you put a coffee bean in it, and the water becomes coffee.
Yes.
So be the coffee bean. Affect your environment. Don't let it harden or soften you.
Love that.
Great. Yeah, it's kind of the difference between being a thermometer and a thermostat.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh, I like that too.
I like that one.
The thermometer reacts to the environment.
Yeah.
It reads the temperature of the room. The thermostat sets the temperature.
Boom.
I want to be the thermostat.
Yeah.
And you set the temperature
Yeah,
in here,
baby.
baby.
I'm going to turn it down.
I'm gonna make it hot in here. So, Keri, like, can you give an example of? Do you have one client transformation that stands out as far as like a success story that was, I guess you'd say, epic in certain ways that they came to you, they were broken, or not necessarily broken. I don't know if the broken people probably
Not
don't.
always. The women that come to me are already winning. They're already
That's
winning.
the ones you want.
They're winning. They also struggle within themselves. You know, what
course.
Jake was talking about before. Like, even though I have all this on paper, why do I still feel
Insecure
empty?
or
Yeah, like I'm not enough, or like I am perpetually chasing the next thing. And like, I want to slow the fuck down, but it actually gives me more anxiety. So how do I reprogram that? How do I actually do that and cultivate that in my life? I mean, they all have different results in terms of what an expanded, alive life feels and looks like to them. But one that stands out to me, she runs a $30 million healthcare company, a CEO, and she has the way she's expanded into her next level identity as the CEO and taken over the parent company has allowed her to secure funding to the number of 9 million. So that's a pretty good stat.
so? And with someone like that who comes to you, was she a referral? Like a
She was
word of
actually a
mouth, like
friend.
referral? She was
And
a friend.
she was
okay.
like, hey, I'm thinking about hiring a life coach. Maybe I can
ding,
talk to
ding.
you
Ding, ding.
about
I'm
it.
here.
That's a good friend,
And
too.
I was like,
That's a good friend.
Yeah, it is.
I'm curious why, you know, what is having you ask about other life coaches? Because I feel like I can support you with this. She's like, well, my only concern is like, would it shift our friendship? And I was like,
That's a good.
it's a great question, right? And so I'm very aware. Like we'll text when we're friends, and we'll be in Voxer, which is like a client support app when we're client coach. A shift between different energies.
And so was her thing like a time management? It's like, I would imagine
Yeah.
getting to that next level. How are you going to take this on with still unplugging, if she has a family,
Yeah,
having,
she does.
that time. I mean, it really is. It's so hard to
hard,
unplug. I've got 3 kids,
Especially
myself.
with a family.
I've got
like
a
you.
10, a 6, and a 3-year-old. And a wife and 4 dogs and koi fish and every other
4
fucking heartbeat in my damn house.
Oh, so do these guys, 3 kids.
2 kids.
2 kids.
Yeah.
So you have 2.
Me 1.
So
I've
both the
got
kids are
2.
Keri's.
He's a bonus daddy.
There's
Bonus
bonus
dad.
dad. Hey, that's great. You can't discount bonus dads. I have bonus dad and had a bonus mom.
A woman
And I got
came to me though, and she was like, I feel like I have no boundaries. I'm working all the time. I don't know how to get to the next level or what that even looks like for me. Maybe I don't even want to be at this company anymore. She's just seeking clarity on whatever's next, but she knows she's called to something bigger, something more. And there's a sense of aliveness that they kind of feel like they're missing out on in their life. We started with that, and that was the thread
And this
that we started to
particular
pull.
person
That's cool.
was money. If she's the CEO, chances are she's probably got money.
It's not her company. She works for them.
Right.
Actually, when she first started with me, she was the co-CEO, and then she ended up taking the other woman's job.
You're
It's like the
below.
fox is in the hen house now.
Right.
Better watch out. These
like
chicks
Keri
are coming
said-
with big claws.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are bred. A lot of my. I don't know. Ben's
I don't even know how
Ben's
he
in
got on
a cave, but it's not the cave of courage. I don't know
It's
where
not.
Ben went.
You are not in the cave of courage right now, Ben.
The cave of courage.
Yeah.
I love this.
That is good.
You know, like Keri was kind of getting at in different terms, most of our clients come to us and they've reached what Gay Hendricks refers to, if you're familiar, the author of The Big Leap, which is your upper limit moment. They're experiencing an upper limit moment
Yeah.
that they're struggling to break through.
The ceiling.
Correct.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
the ceiling.
Gotcha.
Which is just it's a self-imposed ceiling that is firmly in place based on a number of different factors.
Right. Okay.
Our emotional intelligence, our current level of emotional intelligence, conscious awareness, growth, and interpersonal healing.
Mm-hmm.
That determines what our ceiling or our upper limit is. Anything beyond that, whether it's a greater degree of financial wealth, whether it's more opportunity, whether it's deeper connection, love, and intimacy, is going to feel like a threat to our nervous system. And so we have to expand or increase our upper limit. Another way of saying that is to increase our threshold for what we feel safe to receive in our physical body, which is why Keri and I both work with somatics, soma just meaning body. That has to happen in order for us to sustainably reach the next level and stay there.
Yeah,
right?
It's like not lottery winners, right?
Right. Getting to the mountaintop's not the hard
way.
part. Staying there's the hard part.
Breathing up on top of Everest would be the hard part, right?
That too.
Right. I mean, but no, essentially, it's like staying up there, you know? You know what? You just reminded me. I mean, as I've watched you speak and you communicate, you almost communicate the same way my brother communicates. But my brother lives in Australia and now has this Aussie accent. You guys have like very similar mannerisms. It's very... feel very close to me, even though he's so far away. That's awesome. I mean, and that's really, really good stuff. I think everybody could use all of these tools to not only better themselves, but manage all the things on their plate in the best way possible, because just like that woman doesn't want to not be there for her family if kids and family is a priority, and she's missing that, but she's constantly on the phone and she's constantly working, and it's how you... I guess, is it setting people up, hiring help, prioritizing, making the time, scheduling, all those things. You get so busy, you have to do it.
It affected her ability to delegate or not. It affected her ability to be present because she was always kind of somewhere else in her phone other than where she was, like at her daughter's sports event. And so it's like, damn, how do I actually do this? Logically, I know what I want. For whatever reason, I'm the one that keeps filling my calendar. I'm the one that's taking a call at night on the weeknights. I'm the one that's like in my phone at my daughter's game. What the hell?
A passenger in her own body.
Right. You know what? My wife, because sometimes, like, we have my daughter plays soccer. She's 6, but my son's in this travel league baseball that has me going to tournaments every fucking weekend. And it's a damn nightmare. Like, I'm not doing it again. It's just... But I'll be at the game and my wife's like, take pictures, take videos. I'm like, I don't want to be sitting there living through my fucking phone.
Totally.
Because then I get excited and then I put the phone down anyway and it's the most awful video.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. It's just, to me, it's like I would rather absorb it with my eyes.
You'd rather be present.
I would rather, exactly. You know, granted, sometimes having a picture of something, but most of the pictures, there's like 10 million of them. And I mean, how many of them do I really go and reflect on?
Right.
How many of them are framed and actually on the walls in your house?
Do people do that anymore? Like very, very seldom.
We've been talking
Ben
about
does, or Jen does.
Yeah, we do.
Jen does. Your wife.
That's
you
why
don't.
I said we do.
Yeah,
right.
I take them.
Yeah.
Actually, but my wife and I are both bad at that because, like, we'll get kids' pictures and stuff and sports pictures, and it's how many of them end up in a frame? Not as much as they should. People are going to be like, does someone live in this house? There's no pictures of the
Properly
family.
staged.
Yeah, this is a staged home. Where's the real family here?
There's more liquor bottles than family pictures.
Do you guys even like each other?
Yeah. How come there's none of y'all together.
Yeah, exactly.
No, well, man,
There's some wedding photos up still, aren't there? You guys look so cute.
Yes, we are. We are.
When you're just little puppies.
Yeah, puppies. Well, yeah, little fellas. So, Ben, do you have any other questions? I mean, do you have any?
No,
I mean, I feel like we've covered a ton. I mean, we can keep going, I'm sure, but
Well, I know you got a hard stop coming up. I just want to thank you guys for coming on, and also, taking the path in life to step up and say, hey, I'm here to help you get to the next level. I'm here to help you figure out your bullshit, or I'm here to help you get to your next. Like, that's such a big deal. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. And I honor your path, and I wish you guys all the best and greatest blessings. Hopefully we can help you sell a lot of books and get a bunch of new clients and whatever else. I just really appreciate you guys stepping up and choosing to live the life that you live and doing it so well.
And introducing us to the Cave of Courage.
That is something that will live in infamy.
Shedding light.
The Cave of Courage.
The Cave of Courage.
Actually, you guys, have you been to Serenby?
We need to turn it into a place.
The Cave of Courage. Serenbe. No, I haven't.
So it's here in Atlanta. I mean,
I've
a little
heard of it.
south.
Yeah.
It's a wellness community, like on the edge of Atlanta.
Yes, okay, I have heard of it, but
and
I've
it
never been
is
there.
incredible.
No one invited me.
Well, I'm hosting a women's retreat there.
Can I come?
In August? Jake will be a
I
guest
love women.
speaker.
Really?
So that'll be cool. But
Do you need an assistant?
we'll be going to the Cave of Courage.
You are going in the Cave of Courage? What are you going to talk about, Jake? Guy stuff?
Last time he did
The
a
man's
I'm
perspective?
not sure exactly what we're going to talk about yet. We haven't delved too deep in.
So do you pick a topic for him to expand on? Or
No,
you
I
let
mean,
him do his thing?
I might tell him in a debrief around what themes are coming up or what I'm seeing people maybe need to break through or shift if there's a collective theme. But he's so intuitive, as am I. I just trust him. And so he leads them through partnership exercises, and we also fully trust whatever needs to come up will as it's unfolding.
Any of the women be like, damn it, a man's here. I thought this was a women's retreat.
I think they
Nice.
appreciate, I should say, the male perspective.
Of course.
I think
they
in
do.
many ways it allows them to make these teachings and these concepts a little bit more relevant for them as far as how they relate in their relationship to men, whether or not they are in a relationship with a man or not. But that's something we definitely co-create together and talk about prior to the retreat around like what's showing up in the space with these women. What are some common areas of struggle or growth opportunities that we can really support them with, which is what we do at all of our events.
Well, you're a great communicator, and I think that all the women at the at this retreat or gathering they're gonna be like, I needed to hear that right now. It's very cool. Will you guys plug?
Then he has to leave.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's he going?
Get out.
I thought he was going to pull his pants off. I thought it was going to be like, all right, ladies.
This isn't the
now
package.
entertainment
not
is
that kind
here.
of, not that kind of
This
retreat.
isn't the custom package that only I receive.
He's wearing breakaways.
Oh my God. You were
That would be, I'm sorry.
Assless chats.
Magic Mike.
The image of just that. I don't care who it is, but like you're inspiring all those women and then the music comes on. It's just, anyway.
Surprise, Magic Mike.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
absolutely. Keri, would you plug
Yeah.
your socials, where can people contact you? Where can, women find you, men, women find you, all that?
Yeah, we've got the Made for More retreats coming up August 17 through 20 here at Serenbe. We have 10 women that are going to be going. We have 5 spots left. So that's half sold out, which is great. And you can find everything about that and other programs I offer at elevatewithkeri, KERI.com. Or you can connect with me on socials at I am Keri Ford on Insta.
And Jake, your turn.
So the best place to interact and connect with me is my Instagram. I am Jake Kauffman, JakeKauffman. My website, awakewithjake.com. Book is on Amazon.
Y'all have the
Let
link,
Love
so.
In. It is my full name, so Jacob Kauffman, Jacob, and then my last name. But yeah, I also have a men's men's platform for anybody who's interested in doing some deeper work.
Nice. The book is Let Love In, The Pain Stops Where the Truth Starts. And we will link up to all of your socials and websites on our episode description when this episode drops. So we will, plug and share all your info with anybody that, wants to contact you and get more info about you too. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your time.
Thank
I
you
hope
so
it
much,
was
guys.
fun.
For you, yeah.
Sorry, we're stupid sometimes.
I feel like we need to end with you being like, the Cave of Courage.
The Cave of Courage.
As we leave, we're going into the Cave of Courage. Hey, once again, thank you for listening to the ManFUzed podcast. Feel free to join the show, 770-744-5227, or by hitting us up at manfused.com. If you want information on Keri Ford or Jake Kauffman, we're going to post that in our episode description.